This recording is to go through the solution to tutorial 3, case problem 3, the loan grid. So, starting with step 3, we want to enter 1750. In cell E3, step 4, it says in cell E5, enter the annual interest rate of 5.75%. And make sure in E6 you enter 12 to indicate that the interest payment is compounded 12 times a year or monthly. In step 5 you can see that I almost already set it up. You can enter, here's what's great is you can enter 250 and in increments of 10, so the next one, 10,000, so the next one would be 260. And what I can do instead of typing all of these up is I can highlight these first two and fill down, and Excel picks up on the pattern and then will continue to fill in the series. It also wants me to do years 15 through 35, so we got 15 and 20, and if I wanted to I could again highlight to the right and fill in that series, and again Excel will pick up on that pattern. Gotta delete some stuff. I didn't realize I already had this one solved in this file. So step 6, it wants us in cell D10 to use the payment function to calculate the monthly payment required to repay the $250,000 loan for 15 years at this stated interest rate up here. Okay, so I know I'm going to use the PMT function. Okay, and actually I'm going to start it with a minus sign in front of it so it displays as a positive number. And I'm going to pull up the function wizard so that I can walk through the box very easily to do this. And so the interest rate is here in cell E5. I need to divide that by 12 to get the monthly interest rate because I'm calculating here a monthly payment. Now I want to, when I finish with this one payment function, fill it down for all of the 15-year loans and then fill it across for all of the $250,000 and all of the dollar amount loans. So I want to enter a formula once and then fill it in across this entire grid so that I can save time. Do it once instead of about 60 different times. So what I need to do is absolute reference this interest rate in cell E5 because I don't want, as I fill down to different rows, I don't want the row number for the interest rate to change. It's always in row 5. As I fill across to the right to different columns, I don't want the column number, the column letter to change from E to F to G. So I need to put a dollar sign in front of the column letter and a dollar sign in front of the row number. In terms of number of periods, it will be the number of years located in D9 times the number of times per year I have to pay, or what's in cell E6. Again, I'm going to absolute reference that E6. Now here's the thing. As I fill this down and change rows, I don't want my number of years in D9 to change to any different rows. The number of years are located in row 9. And so I never want the row 9 to change. And so I'm going to put a dollar sign in front of the 9. Now the D, however, I do want to change because you can see that the 15 years is in D9, but 20 years is in E9. 25 years is in F9, so I do want that column letter to change. So I am not going to put the dollar sign in front of that. And the book actually gives you that hint in step 6. So when I get to present value, I'm going to click on cell C10 because for this particular payment, the loan amount, the present value is in cell C10. And I need to absolute reference this similar to how I absolute reference the years. Is that as I fill this down, I do want this row number 10 to change to row number 11 and 12 for these different present values. However, as I fill it across and change the column letters, the present values are always in column C. So I don't want that column letter to change to column D, E, F, etc. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put that absolute reference in front of the column letter. I can leave the rest blank, those are optional, and click on OK, and you can see that my payment is $2,076.03. Because of the work that I did here in making sure that things were absolute referenced or mixed reference, I can now, after only entering one formula, fill it down and fill it across, and my entire grid is done. So that takes care of steps 6 and 7. In step 8, it asks you to conditionally format the range to highlight all of the values in this grid here. So highlight all of these here that are less than this cell here in green, meaning that the homeowners have a green go, that this payment is less than what they can afford. Likewise, in the same grid, to conditionally format in red for any time the monthly payment here in this grid is greater than what they can afford, so that they know just by looking what payments and what years and present values they can afford. So we highlight this range, and I'm going to set two rules. One, whether or not the cells are less than this amount, and the second one, whether or not the cell is greater than this amount. So I'm going to go to conditional formatting, and I'm going to do a cell rule, and I'm going to do if it's less than, and it says format cells that are less than, well, not this dollar amount, but in fact this dollar amount here, E3. If they are less than E3, it means the family can afford it, and I want to highlight those green fill with green dark font and click on OK. I'm going to keep the same range highlighted and do the same thing. Go to conditional format, but now I'm going to do a greater than rule, and I'm going to say if the cells are greater than E3, highlight them with red and click on OK. And the beauty of this now is that I can play around with it, and I can say, well, what about if we could bump it up to $1,800? And I type that in, and you can see that that opens up some additional financing options for me. So it allows you to play around with numbers, and you can automatically have everything recalculate and visually see what's acceptable and what's not. And that's it for tutorial 3, case problem 3.